Welcome to the Explainer. Look, today we're not just talking about network security, we're actually going to build a digital fortress, stone by stone. We're going to break down the absolutely essential steps to lock down your network's most critical gear, your routers and switches. All right, let's just start with a pretty stark reality, okay? You can have all the complex firewalls and antivirus software in the world, but sometimes the biggest threat is the one that's most overlooked. Seriously. That router just sitting under a desk, physically out in the open, that's not just a piece of hardware. It's a wide open invitation for disaster. So here's our game plan. Our blueprint for building this fortress is a 5-step strategy to take your network from, kind of vulnerable to seriously secure. We're going to cover physical security, digital access, the master keys, user roles, and then the constant watch you got to keep over it all. Okay, let's get right into it with our first step, securing the physical fortress. Every great defense starts with strong, solid walls, right? And your network is absolutely no different. Your first line of defense, it's not some super complex password. It's a simple lock and key. Physically locking up your routers and switches in a secure room or a cabinet, that's totally non-negotiable. This isn't just about stopping someone from stealing the hardware, which is valuable, sure. The real danger is someone plugging right into the device and messing with its configuration file. All right, so our physical walls are secure. Now we've got to post guards at every single digital gate and entryway into our fortress. Let's see how that works. So the first and honestly the most powerful gate is the console port. Think of it like a secret backdoor into your castle. It's super important for that first-time setup, or if you need to do some disaster recovery. But wow, in the wrong hands, it gives someone the power to completely wipe or reconfigure the entire device. So yeah, it absolutely, positively has to be protected with its own unique password. And the good news is, locking this door down is actually pretty straightforward. In just a few simple steps, you set a password and you tell the device to check for it. You can even, and this is really smart, add an inactivity timeout. So that exec timeout 230, that just means after 2 minutes and 30 seconds of nobody typing anything, it automatically logs the user out. It's basically a self-locking door, which is awesome for making sure that port isn't just accidentally left wide open. Okay, when it comes to remote access, you have two very different choices. Think about it like this. Using Telnet is like writing your username and password on a postcard and dropping it in the mail. Anyone who sees it can read it. SSH, on the other hand, that stands for Secure Shell. That's like putting the same info inside a locked, armored truck. Everything is scrambled and encrypted. There's a reason it's the industry standard, folks. And this right here, this is the perfect example of what happens when you make that right choice. As soon as you configure your device to only accept those secure SSH connections, it just slams the gate shut on any insecure Telnet attempt. It's like having an automated bouncer at the door that just flat out refuses to let sketchy people in. Connection closed, done. Okay, our outer gates are guarded. Now it's time to protect the throne room itself. We're talking about the highest level of access, where all the really critical decisions get made. This is what we call enable mode, or you'll hear it called privileged mode. And once you're in enable mode, man, you have the keys to the entire kingdom. You can see, change, and delete literally anything on the device. So it should be pretty obvious that securing this level of access is absolutely critical. Now, this is super important, so let's break it down. There are two ways to protect this mode, and they are not created equal. Using an enable password is like using one of those flimsy luggage locks. It's easily broken. But an enable secret? That's a modern bank vault. It uses really strong encryption like MD5 or SHA-256 that's incredibly tough to crack. And here's the key takeaway. If both are somehow configured on a device, the enable secret always wins. It completely overrides the weaker password. Right. So the crucial point here is that even if you apply some basic encryption to that weaker password, it offers little more than what Cisco hilariously calls over-the-shoulder security. All that means is it might stop someone who's literally looking over your shoulder from seeing it. But it can be cracked so easily with tools you can find all over the internet. It's just not real security. Think about it. A smart ruler doesn't give every single person in the castle the master keys, right? Well, the exact same idea applies to your network. Not everyone needs full, unrestricted access. And this is where the Cisco iOS, that's its Internetwork operating system, gives you some incredible flexibility. It actually provides 16 different privilege levels. We're talking from level 0 all the way up to 15. This allows for extremely precise, really granular control over exactly who gets to do what on your network. What this means is you can create various specific roles. For example, a full admin at privilege level 15, they have the keys to the kingdom. But you could also create, say, a support user at level 4. This person can only run basic diagnostic commands like ping or traceroute. They can check if a server is online, but they are completely blocked from making any real configuration changes. They can't accidentally bring down the entire network while just trying to help out. It's a lifesaver. All right, so building the fortress, that's really just the first half of the battle. The second half, and you could argue it's even more important, is actually maintaining it and keeping a constant watch from the towers. And a huge part of this is just keeping your device's operating system, its iOS, up to date. I can't stress this enough. Every single update is like reinforcing your castle walls. It patches known bugs, it closes up security holes that attackers are just dying to exploit, and hey, it often adds new and improved features too. I mean, what's the point of having watchtowers if no one's listening to the reports, right? That's where router logging comes in. This is your surveillance system. It records everything that happens on the network using 8 different severity levels. It goes from a level 0 emergency, which means the whole system is unusable, all the way down to level 7 debugging messages. This gives you a super detailed history of everything that's been going on. And hey, here's a quick practical tip for you. There's this fantastic little command called logging synchronous. All it does is stop those constant log messages from popping up and interrupting you right when you're in the middle of typing a long command. It's a small quality of life thing, but trust me, it makes monitoring so much less annoying. So let's end with this question, right? Your fortress is built, but is anyone actually in the watchtower? You can follow every single one of these steps and build an incredibly secure digital fortress. But here's the thing, security is not a set it and forget it kind of deal. It's an ongoing process. Building those walls is absolutely crucial, but it's the constant, active monitoring from that watchtower that truly keeps you safe.